Look around you. Everything you see, everything you touch, and everything you use today is controlled by a tiny, invisible piece of rock. We live in the age of silicon, but this word was almost never built. It was born from a cocktail of genius, pure hatred, and a daring midnight escape. Hello, and welcome to a story that changed the course of human history. Today, we are going back to the moment the digital heart of our world started beating. In the 1940s, computers were monsters. They were the size of houses, they used thousands of vacuum tubes. These were glass bulbs, like light bulbs, that got incredibly hot and burned out every few hours. If you wanted to calculate a simple math problem, you needed a team of people just to replace the broken glass. The world was trapped in a glass prison. We needed a switch that didn't break. We needed the holy grail of electronics. In December 1947, at Bell Labs, three men found it. William Shockley, John Bardeen, and Walter Brattain created the first transistor. It was a tiny piece of germanium that could do exactly what the vacuum tube did, but it was solid. It didn't get hot. It didn't break. But there was a problem. William Shockley was a genius, but he was also a man driven by an ego that knew no bounds. When his teammates made the discovery while he was away, he didn't celebrate. He was furious. He spent the next few weeks locked in a hotel room, trying to redesign the transistor, just so he could call it his own. This friction, this spark of human anger, is what eventually pushed the technology out of the lab and into the real world. Shockley decided to leave the East Coast. He moved to a quiet valley in California called Santa Clara. At the time, it was just filled with fruit trees. He wanted to build his own empire. He wanted to be the king of silicon. Shockley recruited the smartest young minds in America. He chose 8 brilliant men. They were the best of the best. But working for Shockley was a nightmare. He was paranoid. He made his employees take lie detector tests. He recorded their phone calls. He stopped them from working on their best ideas because he wanted to control everything. In 1957, these 8 men decided they had enough. They met in secret at the Clift Hotel. They knew that if they quit, Shockley would destroy their reputations. But they also knew that the future of the world was at stake. They signed a $1 bill as a pact. They were going to start their own company. Shockley called them the Traitorous Eight. He thought they would fail. He thought they were nothing without him. He was wrong. These 8 men founded Fairchild Semiconductor. This was the moment Silicon Valley was truly born. They didn't just make transistors. They figured out how to put many of them onto a single slice of silicon. They invented the integrated circuit. Suddenly, you didn't need 1,000 separate parts. You had a city of switches on a chip, no bigger than a fingernail. The world was about to shrink. But who would buy these expensive new chips? The answer came from the sky. In the 1960s, the United States was in a race with the Soviet Union to reach the moon. President John F. Kennedy promised the world that we would land a man on the lunar surface before the decade was over. To do that, the NASA engineers needed a computer. But the computers of that time were still the size of cars. You couldn't fit a car inside a tiny Apollo capsule. NASA took a huge gamble. They decided to use the new integrated circuits from the Traitorous Eight. In fact, at one point, NASA was buying nearly all the chips produced in the world. This demand drove the price down and the quality up. The silicon chip didn't just help us navigate to the moon. It proved to the world that this technology was reliable. By the time the Apollo 11 mission landed in 1969, the world had changed. 2 of the traitors, Robert Noyce and Gordon Moore, had left Fairchild to start a new company. They called it Intel. They had a vision. They wanted to create a computer on a chip. They called it the microprocessor. This was the Intel 4004. It had 2,300 transistors. Today, your smartphone has over 15 billion transistors on a single chip. Think about that. From 8 men in a diner to 15 billion switches in your pocket. Gordon Moore predicted this. He said that the number of transistors on a chip would double every 2 years, while the cost would drop. This became known as Moore's Law. It is the reason why technology moves so fast that we can barely keep up. The story of electronics is not just a story of wires and silicon. It is a story of rebellion. It is the story of 8 men who refused to be held back by a tyrant. It is the story of a race to the stars that forced us to shrink our machines. Every time you send a text, watch a video, or talk to an artificial intelligence, You are using the legacy of the traitorous 8. We live in their world now. Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey through time and technology. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that subscribe button right now. It really helps the channel grow. Give this video a big thumbs up and leave a comment below. Did you know that Silicon Valley started with a rebellion? I would love to hear your thoughts. And don't forget to click that notification bell so you never miss a deep dive into the wonders of our world. Until next time, keep looking forward.